Okay, the time has come to talk about the best albums of so far this year. It's April. Um, I have a whole list up above right there, or you can't see it. I can see it. It's off camera. It's an off-camera script that I taped up on my recording equipment that I use. Um, I just wanted to do this to share the rankings. This time I didn't do it 10 out of 10 rankings. I didn't do it from 1 out of 10. I did it from 1 out of 100. And these are 90 and above. These are the ones I consider like very significant for how this whole thing has gone. You know, the recent shit that's going on with the virus or whatever that's going around the world. These albums have kept people kind of busy. It's kept me busy. I can thank the bands for doing that and putting out albums. And so here's the best of the albums that have come out in the last few months. First off, let's start with Lost Society's No Absolution. Of course, that album is kind of a. I'm going to turn on my Xbox. I do use my Xbox for recording purposes and using the Spotify list or using Spotify stuff so I could touch upon songs that I think are very relevant towards the and yeah, I didn't prepare for it, so I'm doing it live. Hopefully you don't mind. That's my secret. That's my secret on how I do my videos. I use Spotify as a reference point of what songs are on which albums. And yeah, because I can't remember too much. I have a thing with my memory where I can't remember songs, can't remember titles, can't remember what certain stuff is. I can tell you about what I remember about the Lost Society album. Turned on my Xbox. Sorry about that. Turned on my Xbox. Um, things that I am no. The things about this album is it's more of a kind of a metalcore sound. Doesn't have that really high thrash metal sound to it like usual releases from this band. A very step in a different direction, and I like it. Um, it's a great step in the new direction for Lost Society with the new sound that they've gotten. Let me search up the reference. I should have done this before. I should have definitely done this before. There is very big. Just to say it's a different sound. It has more of a metalcore sound. The vocals are different. The guitars sound drop tuned a little bit. And it's just a brand new direction for this band. I like it. I like how they've kind of gotten a new sound towards it. And it's okay. It got a 92 out of 100, so it's pretty good. And then the next band is Delain with Apocalypse and Chill. I did a ranking of Delain on this channel. The Apocalypse and Chill is not on the ranking, but it would be very high upon the ranking. Burning Bridges is a great song on here. Master of Destiny, the ones I can remember because I listened to this in January when it came out. It got a 93, which it's like Delain. It's like what they've done before, but like somewhat better. So check out the album if you haven't checked out that album yet. And then the next one is Brothers of Metal, Embla Saga. I have to do this for reference. It's annoying. Has this big power metal feel to it. Great release. It was one of the earlier albums I listened to. I loved it when I listened to it. It was completely different that I've ever heard before in metal, and it takes a new direction, and I just love how it sounds. Next one is Burning Witches with Dance with the Devil. This one got a 98, which is a high ranking. The female aspect of the band is actually really good with the vocals and the whole, like, wouldn't say like the lyrics of the songs, and they kind of use certain shit to their advantage to get their points across with different songs, and it's really good. It's like really good to do that way. And I'm not trying to sound like an asshole here, but like it's like superb. It's one of the top albums of the 4 months that 2020 has been, and you know how shitty 2020 has already been. But this album just kind of shines light almost at the aspect of this being one of the best years for recording. It's one of the greater albums of this year, and well, I hope it makes the final list. Next one is Emberian Dawn, Looking for You. Of course, the symphonic aspect of this one is good. The power metal part of this is good. The first song, United, is good. I always remember that song. It starts off the album really strong and has a good rhythm to it, and it just thunders through that song. And then the next song is kind of quiet, and then it kind of gets back up to speed again. And it's just up and down and up and down and up and down, but it's a good ride for what the album is. It's great. Okay, let's move on to this one. Definitely probably will make the final list. Dawn of Solace with Waves. This album is one of the greatest albums this is their first album was 2006, 2007, then they broke up, and now they just came back with the brand new release to their second studio album, and they completely got rid of the death metal aspects for what I can hear out of the music, and the vocals are just on point, and it's just an amazing journey through the album. It's pretty long of an album. Every minute feels like it's going somewhere. You're not stuck in just an endless loop of the same thing over and over. It's like different every time, and it's new, fresh, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's one of the greatest of 2020, and I think it will probably make the list. And it got 100, a definite 100, and well, that's really hard to do on my lists. There's 3 albums that have already done it this year. Next one is Hazard Delirium, a Christian thrash metal band. They use the aspect of faith in their music with the album Delirium, and it just is amazing. The vocals are great, the guitars are great, but really, it got a 98, which is really good. Like, anything from 90 up is really good, and this definitely deserves a spot on greatest of 2020, but there is many better albums to come. You gotta see it. But this album just uses, like, I haven't heard of too many Christian thrash metal bands. It's brand new. It's a brand new aspect into the thrash genre, and they did it well. Next one is Thrash Legends Testament with their latest release, Titans of Creation. This one got 91, which, looking at the one Hazard before, the Hazard album that came before it, with the 98, this album is, well, good testament. It really is a good testament album, and it kind of adds more upon the genre of thrash this year. It's another thrash metal album that's pretty good this year. The only kind of downside is I feel it's kind of repetitive in some places, and well, it's not perfect. And what usually gets on the end of your list, if you've seen what's last year, is pure perfection. Like, I mean, those albums are untouchable. The ones that came out in 2019, that was majorly, like, possessed Revelations of Oblivion last year, that album was untouchable. Number 2 was nowhere near the number 1 spot. And that's what I'm feeling about this year, is some of these albums that have already came out are blowing the other ones out of the water. And Testament's one of those bands that got blown out of the water by some of these other releases that came out this year. Next one is Vartjern, I think that's what you call it. Shame is Just a Word, which got 99. It has the classic black metal feel to it, where it's the it's the blistering blast beats of the, like, 3-tone blast beats that they usually do in the black metal, but just done a completely different way, and it has a completely different sound than any black metal I've ever heard. And that's the reason why I put it at number, or give it a rank of 99, is because, well, there's a little slow parts, but just the whole aspect of it kind of makes up for it and gets it a 99 score. Next one is God Dethroned with Illuminati, which is another 100. It's one of the 3 of the 100s. And, well, this is just, I would think it would be progressive death, actually. Kind of progressive side to this band. They've been a band that's been at the top, they've kind of been overshadowed by bands like Deicide and Cannibal Corpse, and they haven't really been at the front running of death metal, but this album is definitely one of the best albums that I've ever heard from them. It gives it a whole different, it gives this year a whole different feel towards it. The riffs are inventive, the vocals are great, just everything about it's just wonderful. And here's the controversial one that I put in 100 that people are going to get pissed about me. Lorna Shore's Illuminati. Immortal. Okay, I know what CJ did. I know the whole story so far. But I'm not going to. His vocal performance was amazing on this album. The whole aspect of solos and breakdowns everywhere, it has been just foreign towards the scene, towards the whole time that the scene has been going, and this album is probably the reinventing of deathcore. Like, definitely going to be the reinventing of deathcore. They're kind of a new band towards releasing. They released 2 albums before this, but this one just seems like it's just fresh. They're just fresh off of. They're fresh with CJ as their vocalist. Now they got rid of him, but I understand why they did. He did some horrible things, but I can't just discard this album just because of it. It's an album. I already listened to it before I knew what happened, and, well, I have to give it 100 because it was, like, perfect. It's perfect all the way through. It's just never has a dull moment, and it's always in your face, and, like, and it is what it is. Suicide Silence, Become the Hunter is the next one that I have to shout out here with this first Suicide Silence album I've ever listened to. It got a 90. It was just making this list. I don't really remember a whole lot from it. I'm not going to really touch on it too much. Just going to move on. Just say it's a good album. Go check it out. Dark Fortress. Spectres of an Old World. From an Old World. 98. Black Metal Legends. The whole atmosphere of this album is cold, like black metal is supposed to be. It has all the kind of aspects that black metal is supposed to be, but I just didn't think it was perfect. There were some slow parts that, well, I didn't think belonged certain places, and it's not perfect, but it's definitely a good album. To check out. All these albums are good to check out. My Xbox is trying to turn off. It's a definitely good album to check out, and all of these are, so check out all these albums if you want to. I know with Lorna Shore, a lot of people will get pretty pissed off with me that I put them on the channel, but I don't play favorites. I don't, like, if I like the album, I'm gonna put it on here. Next one is Surgical Strike, Part of a Sick World, 95. 95 out of 100. Great thrash metal album. Once again, another thrash metal album gets on here because, like, I like thrash. It's one of my favorite genres. It always has something new, unique, weird, and all this band showed it. Demon and Wizards 3. I think it's, yeah, this is their third album. It came in at 93. It's, well, I think it's power metal. I don't remember too much from this album, but what I do remember, it's good. It's good. Check it out. Neptunus Planetary Annihilation. Alien Core. Okay. Alien Core. Great. I've never really heard of Alien Core before, but, well, it was a new experience, just to say that. It got 93% out of 100. I just felt it was very groundbreaking. Hopefully this album is looked upon in years to come as inventing a genre. I know Rings of Saturn has already said that they invented Alien Core, but these guys do it a completely different way. There's a different style towards their Alien Core version and Rings of Saturn's Alien Core, and, well, it's amazing. I like it for the whole atmosphere that it gives it and the whole absolutely amazing guitar playing on here. Next one, Dope Lord, Sign of the Devil, 95. Doom classic. Definitely going to be a Doom classic, looked upon in a couple of years as, well, a good point for Doom. Good album that came out this year. The only Doom album I have on here, except the next one that I have to say, which is Lucifer 3. This one also got a 95. It has that Doom aspect with a the vocals are amazing. It goes exactly with the style of Doom that they do. And that's what I find good about Doom. And then there's some bands that release Doom albums that aren't connected with the sound of what Doom is supposed to be. And it's more off-putting. So yeah, that's why it's here, because it's not perfect, but it's a good album to check out. And Xenobiotic with Mordrake. I think they're a tech death or deathcore. I don't know which one they want to go by, but it kind of sounds like deathcore, but not deathcore at the same time. It comes at 98. It's a good album to check out. There's really nothing else to say about it except, well, it has some good riffs to it. It's got pretty good vocals behind it. So that's the it's a 20-minute video. I didn't want it to be 20 minutes, but well, I had to shout out a lot of bands here, so I'll be back in another video maybe coming up. This was supposed to be a Saturday video, but it turned out to be a Friday video, so it's not really that big of a deal, but I will see you in another video.